It's RV inspection day, and we are in Titusville, Florida on this beautiful October morning, and we are here to inspect this 2015 Coachman Murata 35 KB. So stick around because we're going to update you at lunchtime as usual and at the end of the day.
All right, so we sneaked out. We had a good conversation with the seller, but it was like, okay, we didn't want to film there. This was a bad situation for them, for the seller, and also
for the buyer.
Because we've been talking with the seller, and it didn't turn out to be it's a good inspection, but sometimes it pleases somebody and it saddens some other people. And this was one of them.
Yeah, we're sorry. Yeah.
No,
but as inspectors, we just state the facts, and we don't sugarcoat it. It's just factual.
At one point, that's what, when I was debating after Laura and I talked about a situation, we finally realized around lunchtime, I bumped into one of the seller, and the wife is saying, well, you know, we hope you're going to rate this right. And I said, no, I'm not rating nothing. This is, we just state facts, so I'm not emotionally attached to this rig. And I said, well, actually, I need to talk to you. So that's what happened. I did my inspection. I did what I have to do. I tested my system, came in this morning, slapped on it. Propane test, no problem. Perfect unit, nice Coachman, does the job, no hot skin. There's no power hooked up to the unit that you can shock yourself. So my two main tests were done first thing, because sometimes I forget to do it right away. I do it later. So this time I said, no, I'm going to do it right away. So good start. So I just have to say, because she should have told me to remind me, please subscribe. Don't forget
to ring the bell.
Thank you.
And leave us a comment. Let us know. What do you like? What do you don't like? We'd like to hear from you. Just leave us a comment.
And what you don't like, we don't want to hear about it. So back to our babies. I don't know where to start with this. So we're doing the inspection. At lunchtime, we're going through our stuff. I got no propane leak. I've got no electrical issue. There's no hot skin. Everything is fine. That frame is brand new, 4,000 mile unit. It is a 2015, but with no miles. This has to be solid. The underneath is beautiful, impeccable. Yes, tires will have to be changed. They were 2014. So there's 3,000 bucks. We know, the owner knows, the buyer knows, everybody knows. So there's no surprise. And this seller is really honest of everything he's done, blah, blah, blah. So, all right, so we're good.
Great people.
Yeah, good people.
Nice people.
And so we just start our stuff by lunchtime. At one point it's 12:30, 1:15, and
I'm hungry. I haven't even seen him at this point.
Yeah.
I finally opened the door and said, we need to talk.
I thought we need to eat.
We need to talk.
So she went into that's just one page. She was nice enough to stop it. And that's what she felt. She says, okay, I got to stop building up a list for you. And the minute I saw her, I just came out from underneath a slider, which I just tested with an hydrometer. And
Do they know what a hydrometer is?
Yeah, I think it tests farts.
Oh, then you had a lot. You had a huge reading, I'm sure.
It was a fartometer.
A fartometer.
So I just came out from underneath that slide out, because I actually saw underneath the slide out on those rolls. Hopefully she can put a picture of that, but you have those rolls that your slide out slides on top of, and I can see the track of the roll that I didn't see in the morning, because I'm not doing the Florida slide out at the beginning, so I'm just videoing the slide out coming out, and I don't see it quite at that point. So it makes me go to lunchtime, and then I go back under and I'm at that slide out, and I see these gouges. And in the gouges, that fiberglass or whatever material they use, it's wood underneath, and I can see the wood. It's cracked where the wheel is going, and oh no. So now I know what that means. There's water there.
At the same time, he didn't know, but I was inside, and at that point I was at the floor. and I was in the bedroom on my hands and knees, and I was rubbing my hand along the inside underneath the lip of the slide, and it was soaking wet. And I'd pull my hand out and it was wet. And I was videoing that all under this slide. I'm gonna show you my fingers, and I'll wipe them off. It's really wet. It's wet. I don't know what. It's damp.
So she's looking at me like she lost her
no.
goldfish. It's like,
I felt really bad.
So
Yeah.
So that's where it started. We says, okay, typically we got the contact of our customer, and we can call them because 90% of our customers is out of state, out of country.
And he's in California.
No, he's on a boat.
Well,
he's not even in California.
Now we find out he is.
Yeah.
But we knew he was 3 hours behind.
So yeah, he finally calls back an hour and a half later, and he says, what's going on, Pierre? I told you I'm in a cruise ship, but I got service right now. It's just, I totally forgot. So I just continued inspecting, and I told her, well, let's do superficial. I mean, there's no way that he's gonna fall for this, but I still got to make my report. So I kept on going and going, because it happened to us before where the customer actually knew by lunchtime, those people from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And we told them what we saw, what we found, what was the problem, and they said, okay, stop it, we're done. So all right, so we continued our inspection. It was about done at 95% when he finally calls, and that's what he concluded to. He says, no, I'm not buying a project. It says, okay, well, that's why I would have liked to talk to you more instead of just hiring up. That's what we...
But if you were looking for a project...
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the unit.
It is really well maintained structurally, right?
Overall, the whole thing is one piece. It's a good coachman. It's solid. The outside, the roof, fiberglass, the sidewalls, everything is perfect except that slide out. So that's a project, and like the seller was saying, well, however, how much, I'm not going to put a price, but he's right. So that's it. So coming back to her inside, she looks at me, I look at her, and it says, okay, I know what's going to happen to the customer. Even if we don't know him much, we already know that, okay, this is going to be a deal breaker if he's not looking for a project. Oh yeah, sure as shit, he called, we talk, and he told me, he says, I'm not looking for a project. I said, all right, why didn't you tell me this before? See, that's the importance of talking with your inspector.
Yeah, you got to communicate.
Thank you.
That was good.
That was good.
Same time.
She edited that, so it was on the same time. So
you took the words right out of my mouth. Literally.
So that's it. So that was one of those shitty inspections, because you hurt people's pride, feeling. Everybody hopes that everything's going to be perfect, and that's our purpose, to try to make people happy.
We like to
please both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to help the buyer find the unit that he's looking for, but I want to help the seller saying, I'm going to praise your unit if you got a good unit, but I also have to state the facts. That's the sick part of this job.
The buyer.
So I'm protecting the buyer over the seller. Yep, I'm not going to make up stuff or slide stuff or don't bring up stuff. No.
It's all factual.
That's what it is. So it's not about an opinion. It's about, this is what we saw, this is what we see. And now I'm physically sorry that I've got to tell you. I debated telling the seller. We had this conversation. I says, do I tell them or not? I know I'm going to hurt their feelings. I know, genuinely, they didn't know. We
made the right decision. Definitely talking with them, and we had a great conversation with them, and I think that made them feel a lot better too, that we were honest and open with them.
That's what we always try to do. Yeah.
Because that's the key.
Yeah.
Is keeping that honest and open.
So that was my thing outside. Other than that, the structure was good. I had a couple of sealant here and there, but I can see that slide out has been fixed. There's been a problem with it. There's a new TPO rooftop on it, so I can see the sealant's been done by a couple of goobers, because it was goo laid on there. It wasn't a nice finish like typically would be from a manufacturer. So I can see there's been work addressed there. So other than that, my system worked, the generator and the stuff, so I was good. And I see her face. I see the
discouragement,
the goldfish look.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, so how is it outside? Just inside.
Well, so there was the cabinets are really nice and they're really well taken care of, and they're solid on top. And the ones that are at the base, you can see there's wear and tear at the bottom of all the cabinets. They have some little doggies and those cute little nuggets. They are sweet, but they have done a little bit of, you know, chipping away at some of the cabinets below, but also the hinges.
I think they're chipmunks, big chipmunks.
The hinges also had a lot of rust on them. Same with around the sink in the bathroom, around that as well.
But listen, they live full time, so I'll forgive that.
It was 5 or 7 years.
Exactly, so that's okay.
It's clean.
It's normal, exactly.
Yeah,
it's clean,
it's
but
clean.
you got some wear on there, which is fine. It's normal. It's 2015, so yeah. And
Yeah,
if you lived in
4,500 miles on this?
4,500, not 45,000.
4,500, yeah.
The only need is brand new. I mean, you need to buy a truck. I mean, it's ridiculous. That is new.
All the faucets are brand new, all mowing. He definitely changed all of those.
Toilet, brand spanking new.
The freezer
toilet.
had a seal that was a little bit loose.
Freezer seal is extremely loose.
Loose around the freezer.
He told me he either sold the rig or changed the fridge, and he decided to sell the rig. So that's why they didn't change the fridge yet. So
Did he say that?
no, he didn't. How would you know?
He's such a jokester.
So
one thing they did do was they had reupholstered the couch, and they did not reupholster the dinette.
but we've got to explain people that those were full-time RVers also.
Yes.
So
full-time, I can't remember if it was 5 or 7 years that they'd lived full-time in there. But you know what was really cool is that on the bed they had rolls of vinyl, rolls of upholstery, rolls of anything that could actually go into that RV and still have the same color if someone needed to redo. So the dinette definitely need to be reupholstered for sure. A lot of the brackets that were in the cupboards were in great shape. The outside and the inside, everything that was up top, everything that was down below had a little bit of wear and tear in the bottoms of the cabinets from the outside visually. And the hinges were rusted for sure.
The dogs love the hinges
They
and the bottom of the
cutest
wall.
dogs.
Oh, they're
but
beautiful.
the little scratches definitely took it down there. So I also took him to a portion of the ceiling which was above the dinette, which had a lot of rippling in it. And it was a little bit softer than the rest of the ceiling. So he took his what do you call that?
a fartometer.
A fartometer. Oh, right. That tests the big ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So when it does beep, 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 you hear it scream. You know, you've heard some of those scream before. But
So
now this time, no,
moisture meter.
I brought the moisture hydrometer. So we tested. See, that's why I bring this. Whenever she finds something, I find something. Oops, we're in the same neighborhood, so let's check inside out. So that way you can insulate the walls, the floor.
Not insulate, isolate.
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 Isolate. You gotta learn how to
This
speak
wind is
English.
great.
So
Okay, Frenchie.
it's not about finding the solution or what's
The cause.
Yeah, that's not the job, but that's me. That's how I am. I tend to do that. I always make sure fix it. She always tells me, I don't want to ask you to fix it. Just listen. So, but when I do an RV, I try to fix it. I try to figure where it came from. So sometimes it will
Well, you don't
make sense.
fix it, but in your mind,
I
you're
try to
trying
see
to
where
figure out.
it came from, so it makes sense. So I can actually put in a report. This is what I found from there to there to there. So that kind of may be connected together. I always have to say acceptable or good. I can't say it's perfect because it can't be perfect unless it would be perfect, which never happens.
So yeah, it was just a lot of.
It was more wear than I think that the buyer is looking for after talking to him, and that's how he felt. It's like, okay, no, I'm not buying a project. So he's not 20, and he's got condition also. So I said, all right, well, that's where I'm at. So he says, no, we're fine. Drop this. We're good. I said, well, I already done the report. I'll work on it tonight and tomorrow. By lunchtime, I'll have it delivered. And so that's it. That's the story with this unit. And we feel honestly bad because I like to make two people happy, the buyer and the seller.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see smile on people's face, one RVer at a time. One that's getting rid of it, the other one that's getting a new one for him, and then the other people get another one, because even if he says that he's not, he will. Don't worry, honey, he will get another one.
Once an RVer, always an RVer.
Thank you.
So remember, and do never forget, it's not about the destination.
It's all about the journey.